From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Tuesday, April the 4th, 2017. Israel has added its voice in calls for the international community to take action after a deadly gas attack in Syria that killed at least 58 people and injured over 200. Speaking at the state memorial ceremony today for Israel's sixth president, Chaim Herzog, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu expressed his outrage over the attack.
There's no excuse whatsoever for the deliberate attack on civilians and on children, especially with cruel and outlawed chemical weapons. I call on the international community to fulfill its obligation from 2013 to fully and finally remove these horrible weapons from Syria.
The Prime Minister also tweeted on social media that the cruel war emphasizes the importance of our own imperative. We will always defend ourselves against every enemy and threat. U.S. President Donald Trump met yesterday with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi at the White House, where the two discussed, among other topics, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Sisi expressed his optimism to Trump that the president could find a solution to the conflict and reaffirmed the support of Egypt towards that goal. Sisi said that peace between Israel and the Palestinians would be, quote, the deal of the century. Trump will welcome Jordan's King Abdallah and Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas in separate visits to the White House later this month. Israel has stepped up its security with the approach of Passover, in particular in Jerusalem's Old City, where thousands are expected to visit over the holiday. Just this past Saturday, a 17-year-old Palestinian stabbed two young men and a police officer in the Old City's Muslim quarter. The victim sustained light to moderate injuries. The terrorist was shot and killed. Palestinian media identified him as 17-year-old Ahmad Jazal, and a selfie he reportedly took before the attack was shared by Palestinians on social media, praising Jazal for his actions. And last week, as we reported to you, a Palestinian woman tried to stab border guards at the Damascus Gate in the Old City. Israel Police Commander Doron Turjuman told Army Radio that holidays and festivals over the years have caused higher tensions and sensitivity and are a preferred period for attacks, adding that the police would deploy more security as needed. He said, "We are here in order to enable the holiday to go ahead as usual." The father of the Israeli teenager arrested on suspicion of being behind the majority of the bomb threats that plagued Jewish institutions in the U.S. this year said that his son's actions were not done out of malice. The father gave his first interview to Israel's Channel 2 yesterday. He said, "To all the Jews in the United States, I want to convey an unequivocal message. We are very sorry from the bottom of our hearts." He said there was no hatred behind his son's actions, only disease, referring to the teen's diagnosed brain tumor. The teen also holds U.S. citizenship. His father remains under house arrest on suspicion that he knew about his son's activities. A student council at Columbia rejected a measure to divest from Israel. The Columbia Spectator reports that the Columbia College Council met Sunday night and voted strongly against putting a referendum on its ballot to ask whether students support the school's Apartheid Divest campaign, which is an effort of the BDS, Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions movement, that seeks to delegitimize the state of Israel. Many stated that the wording of the resolution in particular, because of the use of the term apartheid, would divide students, and voted against it. An Israeli company is set to help provide desperately needed water to two countries that face dire shortages. WaterGen signed deals to produce drinking water for India and Vietnam. It uses technology that extracts water from the air. Harvard Law professor Alan Dershowitz demonstrated the technology at the recent AIPAC Annual Policy Conference in Washington.
I believe that there is no weapon more powerful in the fight against BDS than for Israel to develop technologies that the world cannot live without. You cannot boycott products that you can't live without.
And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Tuesday, April the 4th. At 7 o'clock, we bring you more from AIPAC with remarks from Minority House Leader Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House Paul Ryan, and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. At 8, Charles Small, who is Executive Director of ISGAP, analyzes new trends in anti-Semitism. That's from Temple Sinai of Summit, New Jersey. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with Rabbi Irving Greenberg on the meaning of Passover on L'chaim, followed at 9:30 by an introduction to the meaning of the holiday and the symbols of the Seder service. And then at 10 tonight, the finale of the hit Israeli TV drama A Touch Away, which is in Hebrew with English subtitles. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30, Harry Zeev Cohen of the Hudson Institute talks about a study he took part in for the magazine The American Interest, which ranked Israel for the first time in the top 8 world powers of 2017. That's on tonight's In the News with Mark Golub. And that's the JBS News Update for Tuesday, April the 4th, 2017. I'm Teisha Bader.